Before the Savannah Bananas, Jared, where were you and what were you doing?
I had done an internship with a minor league team back home in Burlington, North Carolina with the Royals, and kind of just fell in love with this idea of you could have a stadium and a team and an entertainment venue. And so when I was in school, I reached out to Jesse, who was running the team in Gastonia, North Carolina, Jesse Cole. And I said, you know, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I just want to come learn about this thing. And so we met in 2012, and I started kind of working through things there. And that's kind of how this whole journey started, basically.
I was finishing up my degree at High Point University, and Jared and I had been dating for a couple years.
Kelsey was graduating in May of 2015, and so we get this call about, from Jesse, who I'd always stayed in touch with. His comment was, what do you think about going down to Savannah, starting a team in Savannah, Georgia?
It really threw us both for a loop because I never thought that I would leave North Carolina.
Now, I didn't know the history that, the team was, in bad shape and the stadium was kind of, crumbling and all these, terrible things that were happening in the moment. But this idea of like, wow, starting something new, that would be really cool to be a part of. And maybe this seems like the chance that we should take.
So it was 2015, I was 22, he was 24. We were newly married in a new city, and we didn't really have a lot of disposable income at that point. So to say it was a struggle was an understatement.
And then I get the keys, the first day to Grayson Stadium, and you just feel like an imposter in that point because who are we to do this? Are we like, come on. It was really a struggle early on. People just did not know who we were, what we were. We were outsiders, from the business. She and I are kind of looking at each other like, oh my gosh, like what did we get ourselves into? We don't come from like big money, venture capital. We're trying to scrape by as best we can. So we started with very little, and when we're not selling tickets or not selling sponsorships or not getting anybody believing in this thing, we didn't have a logo at that point, so we weren't selling any merchandise. And so we get to January, and basically the money that we'd started with, we're out,
There was a word that I heard, and that is bankrupt. When you hear that, what is your reaction? Because you're already like, are we even supposed to be here? And then you hear that word, what does that do to you?
So I remember walking around the stadium with Jesse. He was like, I gotta tell you, we overdrafted our accounts. We got payroll coming up in a couple weeks. We're gonna have to figure something out. Well, I don't know what to do. I've never been in this spot. I'm 24 years old. I don't know where we're gonna get money from.
Was it trying for your faith?
It definitely was. For me, it was a lot of questioning our purpose here. We felt like we heard the Lord so clearly tell us that Savannah's the move. And then we move here and we're not seeing the immediate fruits of that obedience. And there would be nights that we would be laying in bed, and in the middle of the night, I could not sleep. I would slowly roll out of the bed, not to wake Jared up, and I would literally just lay on the floor and fall on my face and just sob and just quietly ask the Lord, which is like, God, like, we need your help. We know we're here for a reason. We just need to solely trust you on what's gonna happen next. It was incredibly trying for our faith, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me as being like a new husband, did I lead our family into something that was more for personal gain and not for like kingdom gain? My inner critic was really like, pounding on me. And then we just continued to pray through, like, there's a purpose here, and let's just make sure it's not us. We knew we had to drum up some interest, obviously, in what the team would be named. One lady said Savannah Bananas, and I remember we passed that around the office, and people thought that's the dumbest thing on earth. But like, I don't know, maybe we should be the Savannah Bananas. We can't do any worse than we currently are, right? Like, we can't sell any less tickets than we currently have, or make any less money than we currently have, or have any less fans. So like, why don't we just go all in on this thing? Of course, we thought of all the puns and, the Savannah Banana Nanas dance team and naming the mascot Split and all these ridiculous things.
And telling people to go bananas.
Telling people to go bananas. We announced that name on February 25th. People freaked out. They were like, that's the dumbest thing on earth. And then people were like, oh, that's the most amazing thing on earth. And, just all these people going back and forth. And we realized finally at that moment, we had people's attention.
At that night, I remember we all went out to dinner afterwards, and ESPN was on, and we see that Savannah Bananas is trending on Twitter, and that it's on SportsCenter and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, like, are we actually doing this? Is this the point that we had just been hoping and trusting and praying for? And I think that was the night that the Lord really gave us that, like, hey, like, I've got you. I just need you to trust me.
From thinking that you were completely out of money, from being completely out of money, to now you're on a national tour. How do you process that?
It's just a pinch me moment. It's just like, okay, Lord, like, you were faithful.
We're called to work and do things, and we're obviously in life with people, but realizing that the work thing is just in this little box that is temporary. And if that's the only thing, then, man, we're really selling ourselves short of what maybe God has called us to do. We're in this thing to share the love of Jesus with people and to be a part of the Great Commission. We love what we do. We love the people that we do it with, and we love the people that we serve, and the hundreds of thousands of people, and all these banana fans.
Growing up in the church, I guess I kind of had this mindset. To do ministry work, you have to be a pastor, or you have to be a missionary in a foreign country. But I think the Lord was teaching us in that time, it's just like, no, your mission field is wherever you're called to, whether you work a corporate job or whether you're working in a third world country. Grayson Stadium, that is our mission field. Although the team is not a Christian team, we can still bring that love of Christ to whomever we meet, whether it's the game day staff or whether it's full-time staff or whether it's just a fan.
Looks like a lot of fun. I tell you, I'm old enough to remember the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yes.
This team really reminds me of them. That they've taken a very serious sport and said, well, let's have a lot of fun with it. And you see the results and you go, yay.
People need fun right now.
Let's go bananas.
Let's just go bananas for Savannah Bananas.
Are we going to go bananas now?
Maybe when Ephraim comes on.
Interactive bananas.
Interactive. That cousin.
Nah,
I don't know.
Doesn't work.
I don't think so. But I love the fact that they were really real in this story, too.
I just got dissed.
Just got dissed.
I guess
the fact that they were really real, though. They talked about, how they had to trust God, even though things weren't, panning out the way they wanted to initially.
Well, let's talk about that. Here they got a very clear word, go.
Yeah.
And, that, all right, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But then after you've been obedient and you've gone, and now suddenly it's not working out.
Scary.
And you hear this word bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's really scary. And it's like,
why does God do it that way?
I think it's because he wants us to continue to lean in and trust him, even though it's scary. Lord, I believe you spoke to me. I believe I heard you clearly, but it's scary. But even if I'm scared, I'm still going to trust you. I'm still going to trust you, even though I don't see my way. It's kind of dark, it's kind of scary, but I know I heard you. And see, a lot of times the doubt, we battle the doubt, but we have to still trust, even when we can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's scary, though.
For me, I had to come to the end of myself. I got a clear word from the Lord to move to Asia. And so I took my wife and my 1.5-year-old daughter, and we moved to Manila. And in that whole transition, I knew that I knew that I knew. I'm still amazed that Catherine went along with me. But then we're in it, and suddenly it becomes a real struggle. And there was a good 6 months of we had to pray in every single payroll.
Wow.
And it was, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where's the provision? But it taught me in those months that, yeah, it's not about me. It's not about my effort. It's not about what I do. But what God is looking for is, do you really trust?
Yeah.
Are you really all in? I hear you. You moved. Okay. But now, okay, what else in your life has to get stripped away? Because if you think it's your performance, you're relying on the wrong thing.
That's not true.
You have to rely on him. And I love that couple. I love the story.
I love it.
Because it shows, yes, God's in it. And let's all go bananas.
I love
it.
Great. Savannah Bananas, awesome.
Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.